Hello guys, this is Ramzi again. Today we are going to talk about engine panels, and I got a lot of questions, maybe around 20-30 questions a day regarding I have a Yanmar engine and I would like to get a panel for it, and I ask him, do you know where is the RPM signal coming from? And they tell me, we don't know. So we have to know a lot of things before we buy our panels. We get to know where is the signal for the RPM coming from, what type of sending units on these engines. Is it only oil switch and temperature switch, what these call idiot lights, or does it have also sending units for gauges that you had in your boat? And it's the time for us now to talk about how can you figure out an engine. We're going to start with Yanmar engines, for example. Yanmar engines, they're very unique. They are two cylinder. There is one cylinder, two cylinder, three cylinder, four cylinder, and six cylinder. We're going to start with the difficult one, the one cylinder and the two cylinder. They don't come with any gauges. They just come out with engine lights, such as your engine is overheated or you don't have oil. And that if it works, because a lot of these engines have a lot of vibration because they're one or two cylinder. So you have to make sure all the time that the connection on the temperature sensor or the oil sensor is connected correctly. And how you do that and how you know that? Very difficult? No, it's not. For the oil sending unit, when you turn the ignition on, you're going to hear a beep or a buzzer. You're going to see lights coming on. And once the engine starts, you have oil pressure, so this buzzer or this sound or this light will go away. So the hard part is the temperature sensor. You can't tell, you can't just wait for the engine to tell you I'm overheated. So it's always good to have a gauge for that. Now for the small engines like Yanmars, they don't have too many ports. There is only one port for oil and one port for temperature. Oil is easy, you can always add the T. And you can add on the T the temperature, the oil sending unit, and you can add the oil switch. Yet for the temperature it's very difficult because you have only one port. Either you take it out and you put another one in, and this way you don't have a switch, but you're going to have a gauge. But the switch is important, just because if you're not paying enough attention for the actual gauge. So we came out with something very simple to do, which is two different things in these little engines. Number one is at the actual thermostat cover for the engine. You know, all the engines, they have thermostat. So at the thermostat cover, what we usually do, tell the customer to take this cover out and buy a new gasket, of course, and drill a hole inside this cover and add the secondary sending unit over there, which is on the actual cover itself. So that's an easy way to do it, and you can always tab 1/8 of an inch and get a simple sending unit that it's 1/8 of an inch, not so deep so it doesn't hit anything underneath it. So that's how you put another sending unit in this engine, and it's the best spot where the really heat is, which is the cover. For the three-cylinder engines, some of them they already have a port that comes from Yanmar originally that you can add a plum water heater on it. But of course, if you have a water heater, this actual spot is being taken. So what we suggest in this case is to have a T. We usually have them here for our customers, and you can buy it from any hardware store. It's a bronze T, and you can mount the actual sending unit on that T. Voila, we're done with it. The four-cylinder engine, they usually have two ports. Some of them are also used for the water heater to plumb it into the engine to get warm water when you're running the engine. You can do the same thing with the T. Six-cylinder, they usually have more ports, and it also depends if it's turbos or not. Some of them, they have even more ports for more sending units and sensors.